So I went to go see Masters of the Universe over the weekend. Me and N15 PCA went to go see it, and uh, it's okay. It's mediocre. Nothing special. It's not like wow, we're gonna get this great Masters Universe multi movie franchise. If it dies here, I can completely understand why it did. It's just doing an okay job when you had the ability to make an amazing film, and they just went out of their way to make an okay film. And this coming from someone who's a big fan of Master Universe. I love He-Man stuff. It's just they made a lot of weird decisions with the story where it's just like, was that necessary to like go out of your way to give us an explanation that didn't need that weird explanation? And then the messaging here, I know there was the marketing of this film was like, oh, we're gonna talk about toxic masculinity. It kind of does, but it doesn't deliver on its own message, so it just feels muddled and weird. Overall, it's just okay. I'm going to talk about the actual story elements here. So, spoilers from here on out, non spoiler review. It's okay. It visually looks great. There's some groaners. The jokes are kind of lame and just okay. So, okay, spoiler time. Adam, this is one of the dumbest things that the movie reveals in this version of Masters of the Universe. Everyone's name, like Ram Man, Fisto, like all those guys, those aren't their real names. They never give you their real names, but those are the names that Adam came up with when he was like 10 years old. So that's why they have such like goofy names, and that was like their explanation for their silly names. And at the very end of the film, that's when he comes up with the name He-Man. And everyone makes fun of him for it because, oh, that's a stupid little kid 10-year-old name. Was that necessary? Why can't his name be Fisto? Because that's his name. And we don't need to draw attention to it and then make it a big joke and it's so stupid and silly. Like, why? Really weird, especially when they took the time to make the characters look like the characters. Like, they literally look like the toys who came to life. But then they turn around and, like, had to make fun of it. I don't know. The another point in the movie that I thought was a little weird was this whole idea of because of the toxic masculinity, that whole discourse of like them saying, "Oh, we're gonna show how masculinity is bad" and all that. It kind of does a little bit because he basically ends up becoming He-Man. He finally learns how to like unlock the power, and he's kicking everyone's butt, and he's pretty indestructible. When he's doing He-Man stuff, it's freaking awesome. Even though they go out of the way to make him look kind of like a doofus, like, oh, he knows how to fly, doesn't know how to fly the bike, whatever. But when he's like punching things and grabbing things and beating dudes up, it's He-Man. It's great. But there's a point in the film where he gets like really angry and he's going to go kill Skeletor. And if you're going to follow me or not, I don't care. I'm going to go to Snake Mountain and I'm going to go kill him. And I guess that was the toxic masculinity part of it. I guess. But he goes there and ends up kind of, because his dad isn't dead. Skeletor had him like captured and he's like, oh, give me the sword. I'll trade your dad for the sword. But then he's like, no, I'm going to just kill you. He's getting into a big old fight, does cool He-Man stuff, but accidentally causes his dad to die because like rocks fall down and everything and it kind of kills his dad. So I guess that was their message for toxic masculinity. I guess. But then even Man at Arms was kind of like, oh, you're a man, you don't cry, you stand up, and tears are for babies, and that kind of like 90s military guy kind of. It was just stupid. It was, if their message was toxic masculinity, they did a terrible job at it, and they didn't even. It kind of shows you he still needed to fight, still had to beat up Skeletor. He wasn't gonna be able to talk him out of it. Things that I loved. Visually amazing. Everyone looks great. I love everyone's costumes. Everyone looks like an action figure came to life. Skeletor is the best part of the movie. Jared Leto finally made a movie where he played a character that I love top to bottom. Skeletor is amazing in this. He's menacing. He's evil. He kind of throws his little hissy fits because guess what? Skeletor threw hissy fits, which, because he basically ends up kind of ruling over Eternia for the most part. And he's still crying about not having the sort of power, but even Evil Lynn's like, hey, you pretty much have everything taken over. Why do you care? Because he just was so obsessed with having the sort of power that he kind of sabotages himself, but that's something Skeletor would actually do. Great. He looks amazing and is funny in his own stupid Skeletor kind of way because he's so evil. But yeah, love Skeletor. Absolutely amazing. Another part of discourse was, oh, Teela's a girl boss. Not really. I mean, once Adam becomes He-Man, he pretty much is the hero and does everything. Yeah, Teela's there and helps out and stuff, but it's He-Man who does everything. Weird things that happened during the film that I didn't like. There's a part where they all get captured and they're all thrown in one cell. So the bad guys throw all the good guys together in a cell so they can come up with a plan to break out. Like, why would they do that? Let's put all the most powerful people that are our enemies. Let's get them all together. That'd be great, right? That's a good idea. That was really stupid. And then he kind of does like a speech because he was in human resources, and it's so silly. That stuff like that just makes me kind of groan. And speaking of silliness, it has the MCU problem of, boy, there hasn't been a joke in about 13 seconds. Let's make a joke. And they did too many jokes. Too many. You don't need jokes during an action scene to break up the action. They made Roboto a girl. I mean, it's a robot, so it doesn't really matter. But why make it female? Really weird. But there's towards the end of the film, Man at Arms, and they're fighting and they're blowing things up. And even in the middle of their little battle, they're doing little quips and to each other and like making little jokes and stuff. And it's like, is it necessary? Can we just fight? And Battle Cat is only in it for a little bit. Like Cringer's in it and he's doing his thing, but he never turns into Battle Cat until like the end of the film. Like they're basically a credit scene. You get to see Battle Cat. I'm like, oh, come on, give me freaking Battle Cat. But yeah, it's just okay. The story's a little weird. He's human. He gets sent to Earth to protect him from the Skeletor attack, taking over the whole. He's killing everybody. They send him through a portal to save him. He gets stuck on Earth, but he's like obsessed with Eternia, so everyone thinks he's crazy. So everyone kind of likes Adam because he's a nice guy, but he's also like a weirdo that talks about this magical world and a guy named Fisto and a skeleton man named Skeletor. So everyone thinks he's out of his mind, nuts, bonkers, insane. So he's been looking for the sword, ends up finding it, ends up getting his way back to Eternia, which is, I thought, was a strange thing to make him into a crazy person. That's an odd choice, but that they decided to go with that route of it. But once it gets to Eternia, the movie gets infinitely better, which is good because Eternia is cool. It's a cool place, has a very different sceneries. Like Snake Mountain looks awesome, Castle Grayskull looks awesome, the armor, all that stuff is great. Then no one believes that he's He-Man, or at least they don't believe that he's Adam. And then this is when we get the jokes like, oh, you're Fisto. And then everyone's like, what the hell are you talking about? Well, that's the name I gave you when I was 10 years old. So why would he bring up a name that nobody else knew to prove that he was Adam, even though no one knew what the hell he was talking about? Like just things like that, but for a stupid Fisto joke. And they bring up the whole fisting thing, like, oh, sexual innuendo fisting. And then Ram Man hitting things with his head. Oh, give him head. Okay, fist. Like, really? Really? And Teela calls Cringer a pussy. It's such a dumb, lame joke. Like nobody thought that was funny. And when in the theater, it wasn't packed or anything, but no one laughed at that. Everyone went like, ugh. Besides that, I would say overall, the dialogue, that was just okay. The weird, silly jokes did get tiring after a while. The romance between Teela and Adam was weird because it really isn't a romance because they knew each other as kids, like when they were little. He gets sent to the Earth 15 years later or whatever. He comes back. They're fighting and they're doing these things. He becomes He-Man. Then they kind of start helping each other out. Then they get really close that they're going to kiss. But I'm like, why would they even do that? They haven't. Yeah, I missed you. Last time I saw you, you were like 10 years old. So that's like odd for Adam to like kind of like go for this like romantic thing. We got to build up to that. Even though she like shuts it down and like calls him, you're my best buddy. That's the only reasonable thing to happen in that scenario. Adam, like, did you think she was going to start making out with you? You know, like that was, again, another odd decision. Man at Arms kind of being a drunken father. Like he's completely like drunk all the time because I guess he feels like he failed. So he became like a hopeless drunk. And then slowly but surely like comes back to just being a hero again. Odd. Why can't he just be ashamed of what he did and he just doesn't feel like he's good enough? Why bring in the alcohol? I thought that was weird. Like, why make him an alcoholic? That's just like an odd thing to bring into to a story that, you know, kids can most likely are watching. Yeah, it's just okay. Yeah, a lot of problems. Visually good. Costumes are great. Jokes are lame. Yeah, I can see why it didn't make much money. I think overall, I think it's like at 60 million or something like that. It costs like 100 something million to make. I'm assuming it's going to break even. It's not going to like be a runaway success of any kind. Well, do I want to see a sequel? Yes, I would like to see a sequel because they show, again, spoilers, you see She-Ra at the end, you know, Force Captain Adora, and you see her, and she's classic She-Ra, long red cape, she's blonde hair, blue eyes. She looks great. I want to see Adora. I want to see He-Man and She-Ra get together and beat the crap out of things and be super cool. And I want a Swiftwind to look like cool Swiftwind Pegasus. And I want Battle Cat. And I want all those cool things. I want all those things to happen. I want to see a sequel, but they got to button up. Okay, guys, let's pull back the MCU humor a little bit. Yes, you can have the funny jokes. They pretty much riff the original show right at the end. So after they beat the bad guys and everything, they do the whole over-the-top laughing. And everyone's like in cartoon accurate costume. So even Tila's wearing her white skirt and everything. You know, it looks nice. But then there's this odd thing where like, oh, there's a village that they're under attack or something. So Prince Adam's like, hey, Cringer, let's go over here. So he's like going to turn into He-Man in secret. Because in the cartoon, like very few people knew that Adam was He-Man. And then everyone's like, why is he trying to keep this a secret? We all know that he's He-Man, but he's just doing it just for fun. Like, just for his own personal, like, oh, this is my secret identity. Why would he do that? It's just a weird thing to do. It's an odd thing to just have our character do this. But yeah, if you, I can't know if I can tell you to recommend it. If you have a theater that has cheap movie tickets, so I know there's a theater chain called Fat Cats that does cheap tickets on Tuesdays, I think, then do it on something like that. But do not pay Friday night non-matinee prices for this film. It's definitely not worth it. Again, big fan of He-Man. It's a 5 is average, a 5.5 out of 10. Just a little bit better than average. If you're not a fan, like you come into this just knowing that He-Man exists, but you don't know any of the story, I don't know how you walk out of the film without being completely flabbergasted at how weird it was. So average normie review, I think would probably be like a 3 or a 4. I got to be honest. Like, I don't see the normies really, really digging this film at all. But, yeah. See it at your own risk. Temper your expectations. There's people on social media that are, like, screaming how great and awesome this movie is. And it's like, oh, a hidden gem. No. Guys. It is no hidden gem. It is exactly what it is on the tin. It says, you know, it's Diet Coke. You crack the can, it's Diet Coke. Like, you're not getting some wacky surprise here. It is what it is. But yeah, hopefully we see a sequel. I really want to see the writing tighten up, and I do want to see some more of the villains. We only got a handful of them. I know Lockjaw was very prominent in this film. You know, he was a cool looking enemy, but it's like, why was he like in everything? But yeah, and they kill Moss Man. He just gets turned into burnt moss like instantly. Like he didn't even say or do anything, which I thought was kind of lame. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Back to regular cartoon reviews. I just, wanted to talk about Master Universe for Crimson Sin here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting on the video really helps out a lot. It gets the video spread around more people get to see the videos, and we get to make more videos for you guys. So thank you, and we appreciate every single one of you guys.